Alright guys, this is lesson 3 on trigonometry, and today's lesson we're going to find the cosine trig ratios and apply them to find the lengths and angles in a right angle triangle. Alright guys, this is the trig formulas. They won't be given to you in an exam, so you need to memorize this by heart. How you're going to do that is using a mnemonic, SOHCAHTOA. Alright, the method to use is to cover up the one you want to work out for each triangle. You need to multiply them if they are side by side, and you need to divide them when one letter is above the other. Alright, now let's look at this example. We need to find the missing length. First of all, we need to decide what trig ratio we are using, so we need to label our sides. So opposite the right angle is my hypotenuse, opposite the angle is my opposite side, and we're left over with the adjacent two angles next to one another. Why do we not need the opposite? Because there is no length there or missing length to work out. So now we need to find one of the trig formulas has adjacent or hypotenuse. So which one has it? Adjacent and hypotenuse. Therefore we need to circle that trig ratio. We're using the cosine trig ratio. Okay, so we need to cover up the adjacent because that's the one that we're trying to find out. So let's write it down. So what you'd write down is cos theta multiplied by the hypotenuse over the adjacent. Make a triangle out of it. Okay, the one that we're trying to find is the adjacent, so you're going to shade that in or cover it up. So we're left over with cos theta or angle times that by my hypotenuse. Then you're going to simply substitute the values into this formula. Cos, and the angle is 38 degrees, multiply that by my hypotenuse of 8. That will give me 6.30 centimeters to 2 decimal places. Alright guys, here's example 2. How to find the missing length of this right angle triangle. First thing we need to do is to decide which trig ratio formula that we need to use. So we label our sides. Opposite the right angle, my hypotenuse. Opposite the angle is my opposite side. We're left over with adjacent two angles next to one another. So we don't need the opposite because it doesn't have a missing length or a value there which can be helpful to us, so we don't need it. We cross it out. So we're left over with adjacent, hypotenuse. Which one has the adjacent and the hypotenuse is cosine trig ratio. Okay, what we're trying to find out is the hypotenuse, so we're going to cover that up like this. Okay, so what you're going to write down is the following: cos theta times by your hypotenuse, adjacent. Make a trig formula. Okay, now you're going to cover up the one that you're trying to find out, which is your hypotenuse. So you're left over with adjacent over cos theta, okay, or angle. So now you can substitute in your values. What is adjacent? Adjacent is 12 centimeters, yeah, over cos theta. What is my angle? My angle is 38 degrees. You put that into your calculator and you should get an answer of 15.23 centimeters to 2 decimal places. Alright guys, here is another example. This time we're looking at how to find the missing angle. First things first, we need to label our sides. So opposite the right angle is my hypotenuse, opposite the angle is my opposite side, and we're left over with the adjacent. So we don't need the opposite because it doesn't have a missing length or value there, so we can substitute it into our formulas, so it's irrelevant, so we cross it out. Okay, so we're left over with adjacent and hypotenuse, so we're using the cosine trig formula. So now what we need to do is cover up the cos theta, the cos angle, because that's the one we're trying to find out. Alright, so what you're going to write down is cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Alright, we want to get that angle on its own, so you're going to do the inverse of cos, which is cosine minus 1 adjacent over hypotenuse. Now you can substitute into this formula here, and you will get angle equals cosine minus 1. What is your adjacent length, which is 6.5? What is your hypotenuse? 8. You put that into your calculator, your angle should be 35.7 degrees to 1 decimal place. Okay. Alright guys, for set 3 and set 4, please have a go at the red and green questions. Select any two from the red section, select any two from the green section. And for set 5, please only do the red questions only. Once you've done that, upload your answers, class charts, and they will be checked. Thank you.